major breaking news. And if you didn't trust Schefter, well, that was not a good call. You could trust the Rams, as the Rams themselves have taken to Twitter to announce, welcome to OBJ. As OBJ has a nice ring to it. OBJ in LA, that is. The Rams announced that they have agreed to terms with the former Giants and Browns wide receiver. The man who broke this news initially, of course, is Adam Schefter. And Schefter, they announced that they have agreed to terms, did the Rams, with Odell Beckham Jr. What, if anything, do we know about the contract he is signing with them?
It's a one-year deal, and I think there'll be a lot of incentives in there. I don't think it's going to be a high-paying deal. I think it'll be closer to the minimum type of deal, Field, as we await the full details of the contract. But that seemed to be mostly the range that many of the teams were in. There were a couple of teams that were willing to offer more than that and go outside that range. But I think on the teams that Odell Beckham Jr. was focused on, this is essentially where the deal is going to be, with a lot of incentives. And this goes back to really last week when he and his agent, Zeke Sandu, negotiated their way out of Cleveland, got the last 2 years, lopped off the deal, and essentially avoided having a converted contract on waivers where it would have been easier for him to claim. So Odell Beckham Jr. was granted his freedom, and his freedom gave him the first time in his career to choose where he wanted to go. It wasn't like the Giants drafting him, Cleveland trading for him. He could pick where he wanted to go. And we know that Green Bay was interested. We know that there were other teams like New Orleans and New England and Seattle also interested, Kansas City. But in the end, Odell Beckham Jr. spent an awful lot of time in Los Angeles. And I think Sean McVay can be very persuasive. I think that team has been ultra aggressive with all the moves that they've made. They know the Super Bowl is on their home field. And I think when the Rams come calling, there has to be something in Odell Beckham Jr. that says, this is a place that I really do want to go. He gets to work with Matthew Stafford. And now the question is, will he play Monday night on Monday Night Football against the 49ers? But it's going to be a one-year deal with the Rams. He'll be a free agent again after the season, but the one-year deal is done.
Schefter, I'm glad you mentioned that he plays on Monday night, because it's time now for us to welcome in a part of the Monday Night Football broadcast team, the great Louis Riddick, who always has valuable insights. And Louis, when you saw this news from Schefter some 20 or so minutes ago, what was your initial reaction on Odell Beckham Jr. choosing the Los Angeles Rams?
Yeah, Phil, I mean, I think I was as surprised as anyone else. But I think what it did was it gave you some insight as to what exactly Odell prioritizes. Right now, it's about location, culture, long-term opportunity. Location being out there in L.A. I mean, they're trying to like bring back the Showtime Lakers type of attitude and atmosphere out there. Culture, look, Sean McVay is one of the best culture builders and culture maintainers in the NFL. He's a charismatic individual who really does have both a short-term vision and a long-term vision, and he can sell that as well as anyone. And then as far as opportunity, he has an opportunity to win now with this football team as it's presently comprised, and then really reap the benefits long-term, even if he isn't the number one guy and the number one option out there, simply because when you get to the field and think about the X and O component of this is a team that, we talk about teams being multiple as far as, a three-phase operation, offense, defense, and special teams. Well, within this offense, it's like defending two different offenses. And I'm not just talking about run and pass. I'm talking about first and second down as opposed to third down. And what it does is it creates opportunities in so many different ways for players that I think for him, he says, look, I don't really need to be the number one option because of how multiple this offense is. It's a very different offense in terms of what it looks like when the quarterback is under center versus what the quarterback looks like when he's in gun. When the quarterback is under center, the amount of motions that they use and the tempo with which they work at creates so many open opportunities in the passing game and the running game that he figures, I'm going to get my shots down the field. I'll get my shots on jet sweeps. I'll get my shots on wide receiver screens. And then when we spread you out and go gun, they may put 5 of us on the football field. Now, what are you going to do then? What are you going to do as long as they can protect Matthew Stafford? And with Matthew's ability to process, get the ball out quickly, manipulate defenders the way he does, he's looking at this in multiple different ways. Obviously, the money didn't matter to him. What mattered to him was location, the culture, and the opportunity both short and long term to win a championship short term, and then long term, cash in, whether that be in L.A., if Les Snead can continue to be a magician with this salary cap, which I can't wait to look at how he's going to do all this, or long-term, I'm going to cash in and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think for him, look, it was a smart move on his part. Great sell job on the part of the Rams to get him there. I can't wait. He just needs to play on Monday night so we can talk about it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.